All aboard the crazy train for some crazy high school baseball action on a beautiful Tuesday evening in Southwest Arlington. Broadcasting live on YouTube, it's High School Baseball on Zach Arnold Productions, and it's presented by our friends at John Wade Roofing. The Bowie Volunteers and the Martin Warriors getting ready to get underway in just a few minutes. And the pregame show presented by Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc. is next. John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
The pregame show is presented by Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc., a family-owned business with a team of professionals who have served the Arlington area for over 50 years. Don't let insurance be a headache. Chapman Cornelius can help you create a custom insurance plan tailored to your small business's needs and budget. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346 or go to www.chapman-cornelius.com. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Warrior Field on the campus of Martin High School for some high school baseball action between the 3-1 Bowie Volunteers and the 2-2 Martin Warriors. I'm Zach Arnold, joined by my partner, Jot Hawley, on the call tonight. Jot, Bowie suffered a little bit of a setback on Friday against a rival. Martin is riding a two-game sweep against the hapless Grand Prairie Gophers. There are no more undefeated teams in District 8-6A. Everybody is either 3-1 or 2-2. It's anybody's district, and that is part of what is going to make this series so fun in my mind.
When it's anybody's district, when you have so many teams that are 3-1, 2-2, it means every game has a heightened level of importance. This game is very important for the Bowie Volunteers to come out there 3-1. They've had a good stretch, but this will be one of the better teams that they have faced this season. No offense to the two teams that they played before, but Martin is a perennial playoff team every year coming out of the district. So for Bowie, this is a team that they're going to have to look forward to if they want to make that jump to become district contenders, not just district playoff contenders, but district champions. Martin is the team that you have to look at, as well as Arlington High, South Grand Prairie. Yeah, those are all teams that you have to look at, play hard, and you cannot make any mistakes. Haltom, you can throw Haltom in the mix as well. They're a team that's stepping up this year. They're a lot better this year than they were last season. So if you're Bowie and you're 3-1 and you're Martin and you're 2-2, this game right tonight matters and Friday matters as well.
These two teams actually split in last year's competition, which gave the Volunteers a lot of hope that they might be able to make some noise and make a late season playoff push. Unfortunately, they finished 5th in the district and just barely missed out. But there's a lot of senior leadership on this team. There's a lot of just upperclassmen, period. Everybody on this Bowie roster is either a junior or a senior. There may be one freshman, but for the most part, it's a leadership-heavy group that the Volunteers coaching staff, led by Coach Johnson, they're going to be dependent on that leadership to play a really tough Martin Warrior team.
And when you have a chance to use that experience, because you split the season last year with this team, Martin, it does not have as many seniors on their roster, so it's a lot of players that you haven't seen before. So for them, this is a good growing experience. For Bowie, senior-led, junior-led, you have 8 seniors, you have 6 juniors, so all these kids know what's at stake when you play this game. So you might see a little more of a heightened importance from one side than the other, depending on how free the other team wants to play.
Coaches are meeting at home plate. The sun is shining, but there are some clouds in the sky as well. Jot, you and I both encountered a little bit of rainfall on our way over here, so there's a couple of different reasons why we're playing this game an hour earlier than normal. The Arlington versus CM Houston game will also be live here on the Zap Network in about an hour's time. But we're just a few minutes away from baseball, and I'm pretty excited to get things going.
Yeah, we get a nice seat. We were we were taken care of really nice by the folks here in Martin. So I
Absolutely.
do appreciate you guys setting us up here for tonight's game. It's gonna be a great game. Saw a little bit of rain leaving UTA. Zach saw a little bit of rain coming down I-30. Not much, but just enough that like your car got a little bit wet.
Yeah, it wasn't even enough to technically call it going through a car wash, but it was enough to let you know that the rainy conditions are there. And with this being an all-grass field, there's a chance that if a little bit of rain falls, that it could be one of the hazards of playing the ball game here tonight. Dimensions-wise for the Martin Warrior Field, it's 310 to the corners, 360 to left and right center, and 380 to straightaway center field, where the flags are blowing in the breeze going from right field to left. Thanks so much for tuning in to high school baseball on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by our friends at John Wade Roofing. Hit that share button and let the folks know that we are just a moment or two away from hearing the starting lineups and getting baseball started in South Arlington. The Volunteers come in off of a hot start, Jot. They started undefeated during some tournament play and then suffered a couple of setbacks at the very end of their tournament run, but they have a 12-4 overall record on the season, 3-1 in district. They are up there with teams like South Grand Prairie and the Lamar Vikings for 3-1 district records to start 8-6A. Martin comes in with a 6-8 overall record, 2-2. They actually lost on a walk-off against those Lamar Vikings a couple of weeks ago. And so Lamar is kind of stating a case for a playoff spot. And then, as you mentioned, Haltom is a much better team this year. They've got over 10 wins to start the year, and they're 2-2 in district. And then you've got Bowie that's in contention. You've got Lamar and Martin that are all in contention. There's only 4 spots available, but right now, realistically, we're looking at 6 teams fighting for 4 playoff spots, and it's only 2 weeks into district play.
Eventually, the teams will thin themselves out as the season goes on. After report cards come out, depending on for some schools, as injuries go, as sicknesses and players come and go, it's going to be a lot going forward for both teams and all these teams in the district, Halton, Grant Prairie, and Arlington. But at the end of the day, you want to be one of the top 4. The top 4 get in. You got to take every game as possible. You got to come into the game clear-headed when you come to bat. The pitcher's got to come into the game ready. You can't go out and hang out. You're a high school kid. I understand high school kids do high school things, but you got to make sure that your game and your team is important because you want to get to the playoffs. Because if you're one of these teams out there right now,
Bowie's schedule does not get any easier from here. They started with probably the 2 easiest teams to play against in this district, if we're being completely candid. After this series with Martin, they then have to play a home-and-home against Arlington High to start the month of April, and then they will be playing the Haltom Buffaloes, then they play Lamar, and then they finish the district slate against South Grand Prairie. So the tail end of this month of March and the early part of the month of April are going to be very telling for Bowie as they get ready for what we are hoping to be a postseason push.
it's games like last Friday when I got a chance to see Bowie at home versus Sam Houston. Games against teams like Sam Houston, you can't lose to at home. But instead they went out and lost 7-0. So that's like one of those games like they do in college basketball. You have a positive slate, you have a negative slate, things that affect you going forward. That Sam Houston game could just be a one-off, or it could be something that affects them going forward as the season gets tougher. Like you said, they're playing South Grand Prairie, they got Martin, they got Arlington, they got Haltom, so they got all these teams that are dangerous early. And I know some teams get hot during tournament play, they cool off in district play, and vice versa. So if you're Bowie, for example, You started off really hot. You don't want to be that team that starts off hot and ends up cold.
That is true. It's all about how you finish the season, which is what March Madness is proving for us on the basketball court. Did you fill out a bracket this year by any chance?
I filled out a bracket, and as a Michigan fan, I didn't think we would make it past Texas A&M. You know, married to an Aggie, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to pick either one. But as a Michigan fan, I was like, you know, it's a very successful season for us. I didn't think we'd win the Big Ten tournament, but we did. Didn't think we'd beat A&M, but we did. I don't think we'll be Auburn. This is me being honest with you.
It'll be a tough one, and there's a tough one here as well. National anthem, and then first pitch here on the Zap Network. Time to meet the starting lineups. First, defensively for the Martin Warriors, you've got Vaca at first, Luna at second, Openshaw at third, Hazens at short, Powers is in left, Owen is in center, and Hobson is playing right field. Min Bay gets the start behind the plate and on the mound, his battery mate, number 18, Jonathan Shaw. Shaw getting the game one start for the Warriors. The batting order for Bowie is as follows. Leading off and playing center field, number 5, Jackson Turner. Batting second and playing third base, number 11, Christian Uribe. Back in the lineup and playing shortstop, batting third, number 9, Isaiah Henderson. Batting cleanup and pitching, number 7, Roman Ortega. Jason Wheeler is batting in the fifth spot, playing right field, and he'll be followed by Brody Ferguson, batting sixth, playing first base. Josh Caber gets the start at DH, wearing the number 4 and batting number 7. Roberto De Leon will be catching and batting 8th. And to round out the order, second baseman number 6, Andrew Vega. Not in the lineup will be the left fielder number 3, Alex Rojas, being DH for today by Caber. Go ahead and hit that share button, copy the link, and put it around the social media. Let your group chat know that it is baseball time in Texas. Zach Arnold and Jot Holly bringing you high school baseball on the Zap Network, presented by John Wade Roofing, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982. Alex Johnson, the lead man for the Bowie Volunteers. Matt Waller, the head coach of the Martin Warriors. Coach Nolan Crowdis is watching the warm-up pitches from Shaw, and he will get ready to head over to third base. It's kind of a role reversal for this Bowie staff, Jot. Usually it's the head coach that will occupy the dugout along, or the box along third, but Coach Johnson takes first base, and Crowdis will take up the third base position as Turner gets ready to start things off for the Volunteers.
It's a lot of trust in between coaches. Coach Johnson trusts Coach Crowdis to get the base runners rolling. It's worked so far this season, so it's a good approach. Look at Jackson Turner, number 5, the center fielder. Last game, went 1 for 3. You got a walk. You got walked. You got a hit. You also struck out to lead the game off. First hit, first at bat, out into the parking lot. Oh goodness gracious, that's a foul. Foul of strike one. Sorry, I was caught mid swing watching that ball go right by me. So it's a 0-1 count to Jackson Turner. Speedy right-handed hitter, has a good arm. He pitched last Friday. Did a very good job. Only gave up 2 runs. As the 0-1 pitch is high, breaking ball outside, 1-1. Jackson Turner has used his speed around the base paths very often this year. He has multiple triples that I've seen firsthand. 1-1 pitch, high and away, ball 2, 2-1. Interesting release point for Shaw. He doesn't have a traditional windup with the high kick. He kind of just more like he's pitching from the stretch. 2-1 count to Jackson Turner. Swung on. Fielded by the second baseman. Second baseman fires the first, and Jackson Turner is out number one for the top of the first. And that's how the game's going to start for the Volunteers with the ground out to second base.
And judging just from what we've seen in that first at bat, Shaw looks like a pitcher that is going to be pitching to contact and being dependent on his defense to be able to take care of business behind him, and that's exactly what Luna did, firing it over to Vaca for the first out of the ball game.
Good job by Luna. Watch the ball hit your glove, fire over the first, and get that out. The first pitch is in there to Christian Uribe, strike one.
A little bit of a delay there from the home plate umpire, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that fist that goes forward on the strike calls rather than to the side.
Uribe, just like Turner, went 1 for 3 on Friday versus Sam Houston. Struck out and got a single. The 0-1 pitch is high. Ball one. 1-1 count to Christian Uribe. Matches the number 11 that he has in his uniforms. Gray jerseys, gray pants, orange jerseys, blue writing, Bowie traditionally across the
I think
across
it
the
says
front.
Vols this time.
1-1 pitch is low and in the dirt. 2-1. Does say Vols. It's far away from here. I can't
It's
see.
pretty far. It is
Can't
pretty far
see.
back.
Uribe is a staple over at the hot corner for the Volunteers. He does pitch every so often. He's a very good number 2 pitcher for the Volunteers. But when you see him not on the bump, he's out there in the hot corner, fielding everything. 2-1 count. 2-1 pitch is low. Ball 3. Uribe got a walk last game, looking to try to get a walk here to lead the game. Lead his game off. 3 balls, 1 strike to number 11, third baseman Christian Uribe. On decks, Isaiah Henderson back in the lineup. 3-1 pitch. That ball's going to be in the dirt, and he lost on ball 4. Take your base, Christian Uribe.
It's a good at bat by Uribe. Didn't see a pitch that he wanted to swing at, so he lays off of it. There's a man aboard for Henderson, who may be the most electric batter in the Bowie lineup. So good to have him back if you're a Bowie fan.
Henderson in our first game we got to cover at Bowie High School. His first at bat, down the left field line, over the wall, 3-run shot, and that's what propelled the Volunteers to get that early opening season win. Back in the lineup, and his first pitch he sees, he flies it up. Looking for it, first baseman's calling for it. He's not going to be able to get there in
I
time.
love the effort, though. That's
Good
a
effort
great
by Vaca.
dive. Vaca laying out everything to just get the out.
Vaca called off his catcher. Looked like he had it, just missed it by that much. That was a very great effort.
Missed it by that.
0-1 counts. Isaiah Henderson, number 9.
Yeah, that the first at bat that he had in that series against Grand Prairie, he just put it on a rope that went just barely to the right of the left field foul pole.
0-1 count. Runner's taking off for second. Uribe, he slides in. That ball is going to be thrown out. It's going to be safe. Catcher wasn't able to make a good throw there to second base, so Uribe is going to get the stolen base, while Henderson looks at an 0-2 count.
Yeah, it was a pretty on target throw by Min Bay. The problem was the defense didn't collapse in time to be able to recover it and apply the tag. So clean steal and a man in scoring position early here for the Volunteers.
No balls, 2 strikes to Isaiah Henderson back in the lineup. Swung on. That ball is missed. Strike 3. Minbay gets up, fires the first. So it's going to be a strike him out, throw him out. 2 away in the top of the first for the Volunteers. That's one thing the Volunteers did plenty of on Friday versus Sam Houston. They struck out 10 times to the pitcher Ramos. Ramos pitched a great game against the Volunteers, and the Volunteers lost 7-0 on Friday. Looking to change their fortunes up here. For 2 away, you're gonna step up the DH, step up the pitcher tonight. Usually first baseman, the number 4 batter in this lineup, Roman Ortega. The first pitch to Ortega, that ball is in the dirt, past the shortstop. Uribe is gonna get held at third, so we have runners on the corners. Piece of hitting.
That
First
is a
pitch
good
swinging.
piece of hitting. Ortega saw what he wanted and sent it into left field. Unfortunately, it fell in front of the left fielder Powers, who was able to scoop it up and get it back into the infield very, very quickly. So that will put runners on the corners.
Courtesy runner here for the Volunteers. Number 10, Kitchens. Hopefully start Picking up something on first base for the Volunteers. 2 away in the top of the first, runners on the corners. And we see Jason Wheeler, the right fielder, up to bat for his first at bat of the night. First pitch he sees, a breaking ball, strike. Wheeler last game had a costly error late in the game that Sam Houston was able to take advantage of en route to their 7-0 win. 0-1 pitch, low, 1-1. Wheeler at the plate last game, 1 for 3, got a single early, then he struck out late. Looking to get better production out of these bats. Fires over the first, back in time. Kitchens was looking to start cooking, start mixing stuff up at first. Shaw has an eye on him, throws back to first. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Number 5 batter, the right fielder, speedy Jason Wheeler. Uribe at third. 0-1 pitch, fouled back to the net. Do it again, 0-2. This is one thing Bowie did a lot of on Friday was strand runners on base. Was not able to bring anybody home in that loss to Sam Houston. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
There may be 1 ball, Joe. We'll have to confirm from the umpire.
Uribe on third, Kitchens on first. Pitch, Kitchens takes off running. That ball's high inside. Kitchens gonna walk in safely to second.
Another clean steal. 2 stolen bases for the Volunteers here in the top of the first.
We have time call. Look for another ball to get thrown back in.
Yeah, there were a couple in the on-deck circle over there by Brody Ferguson. He tosses them into Min-Bay.
2-2 count. Number 5 hitter, Wheeler. Runners in second and third. Wheeler needs to get something working here to start the top of the first. If he can bring somebody in, the Volunteers would be the first ones on the scoreboard. 2-2 pitch to Wheeler, upcoming. That pitch is fired, swung on, out into the parking lot. That's foul.
That's headed towards the new Glaspie Field that's scheduled to open this fall here on the Martin High campus.
If you can hear that sound, that was somebody's car alarm going off.
Pretty intimate quarters, but that's nothing new for people who attend baseball games. Over out at Cleburne High, we had very similar parking accommodations during tournament play.
2-2 count, 2 out. Swung on, that ball is hit back to the shortstop. Shortstop feels it perfectly, fires over the Vaca at first, and that is going to be out number 3. Bowie strands 2 runners in scoring position. Put up a goose egg to start the ball game. Warriors come up to bat after this. This is Zach Arnold Productions bringing you Bowie Volunteer Baseball, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com. If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Ika Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Ika features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Ika at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Let's meet the starting lineups for the Martin Warriors with a season record of 6-8 and 2-2 in district. Leading off and playing second base, Devin Luna. Batting second and catching, it's Min Bay. Batting third at first base, Ian Vaca. Batting cleanup, the DH, Luca Flores. Damian Openshaw bats fifth at third base. Garen Powers is in left field, batting sixth. Jacoby Hazen, who made a nice play just a half inning ago, is batting seventh at shortstop. The right fielder, Parker Hobson, bats eighth, and he'll be followed by Slade Owen, the center fielder, rounding out the batting order for the Warriors. Defensively for the Volunteers, Ferguson's at first, Vega's at second, Uribe's at third, Henderson's at short. Alex Rojas is in left and being DH for. Turner is in center field, and Wheeler is in right. Behind the plate, number 12, Roberto De Leon, and getting the start, Roman Ortega. Ortega on the mound for Bowie.
For the Volunteers, I hope one thing they worked on over the weekend with Coach Johnson was errors. They had 4 errors in the game versus Sam Houston. That's very unvolunteer-like. They've been very good fielding the ball throughout the infield. But last week, for some reason, it was just one of those games. Wheeler had an error, a big costly error in the 5th inning. The infield was just dropping balls left and right and made it harder for Ortega at first. So hopefully with Ortega on the mound, that the Volunteers can get good defense behind him to back him up. The first pitch to starting batter, Evan Luna is going to be a strike. Evan Luna is going to be leading off the game for the Warriors. Take a big number 7, usually plays first base. The righty fires. That ball is hit deep out to left field. And that's going to drop for a single. No, Luna's running around second, going to first.
He's got some
slide into
speed.
second. Starting the game off with a double to left field is Devin Luna. Good
And that's
piece of hitting.
That's a combination of a lot of things, Jot. That's a good piece of hitting that was hit down that left field line. It was tough for Rojas to catch up to it. But when he did catch up to it, he was rather lackadaisical in getting it back to the infield. And when you combine the placement of the hit, the approach on the live ball, and the speed of Luna, it creates a leadoff double.
Yeah, that's not what you need out there when you're trying to get a good start for the Volunteers. You came up there, you had runners on, so you had potential to start the game. As the first pitch is swung on, that ball, Ben Bay hits that ball out to right field. That's going to be a single. Runners on the corners quickly for the Warriors. Good piece of hitting. First pitch swinging by Ben Bay.
He saw a pitch that he wanted and was able to put it over the glove of Vega at second. Wheeler with a good recovery, charging it so that it didn't get too far away from him. Does not allow Luna to score, but it does put runners on the corners, and it's back-to-back base hits for the Warriors.
The first game I saw Roman Ortega pitch this season was the Irving ISD tournament. He gave up 2 runs early, was able to settle down, and they ended up getting the win 3-2 over Irving Nimitz at Nimitz High School. So it's looking like that now. Over time, Ortega's a very good pitcher. He can settle down. His defense is good enough behind him to keep these runners on the corners. Going to bring up the number 3 man in the lineup, Ian Vaca. The first pitch to Ian is low, ball 1.
That was a called strike,
That
actually.
was a called strike.
You got to watch that umpire's fist.
He has the delayed reaction.
He has the delayed response, and he throws his fist forward.
0-1 pitch, swung on, grounded to second. Second baseman fields it, fires over the first, but a run's going to score. So RBI, fielder's choice for Vaca. And the Warriors take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, in that situation, you're already leaning towards first base. Your best play is at first to try to get the out. You would like to try to turn 2 and get the double play, but you risk losing both of them if you don't get the 1. So it's one of those bang-bang situations, and it goes in Martin's favor, and they strike first.
First pitch to Flores is called strike. Looked at. Yeah, that was a good piece of hitting by Vaca, knowing that Min Bay has enough speed to get to second. That ball was hit just enough to get the runner in from third. Vaca was able to get out on the fielder's choice. 0-1 pitch, swung on, fouled back. Did that ball go through the netting?
No, it bounced.
It bounced off. 0-2 count quickly as Luca Flores, the cleanup man in this Martin Warrior lineup. Warriors have a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first, 1 out. Ortega, 0-2 pitch, swung on. Second baseman fields it, fires the first, and that's going to be out number 2. A lot of action happened over at second base today for the Volunteers as Vega has back-to-back putouts.
Yeah, and he almost was able to catch that one that was lofted into shallow right field by Min Bay. So a lot of stuff going to that right-hand side of the infield. Both Bowie defenders, Vega and Ferguson, are going to have to be on their A game if this is the direction of the field that Martin's going to be sending.
2 outs. The first pitch is swung on deep. That's going to be a fly out. Openshaw. First pitch swing and flies out to Jackson Turner. That's going to end the bottom of the first. The Warriors scored, though, on a fielder's choice. It's going to give them a 1-0 lead here on Bowie Volunteer Baseball, presented to you by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Page's Pretty Roots is a Texas-based small business where you can discover handcrafted treasures designed to nurture your body and soul. From custom t-shirts that showcase your unique style to nourishing sugar scrubs and moisturizers made with love. Whether you're looking for a fun fashion statement or all-natural self-care, you'll find something special here. Shop now and experience the magic of handmade by scanning the QR code or searching Page's Pretty Roots on Etsy.com.
Hey, this is John Wade Jr., Colt Football 97, class of 98. And the next time you have a roofing issue, be sure and call Arlington's favorite roofer, John Wade Roofing. Look us up on the internet at johnwaderoofing.com.
Fans, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and wait a very short 10 minutes, you can join the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. We want to hear from Bowie Nation and Martin Nation. We understand that the link to tonight's broadcast was shared with the Martin faithful as well. We'd love to hear from both fan bases. Know that you're cheering on your favorite local Arlington school. We want to send a special shout out to the Peltier family. Special shout out to Bryson. We know that there are some grandparents that tune in every ball game from the San Angelo area, and we want to thank them for their loyal listenership and for being a part of Bowie baseball during tournament season as well.
Brody Ferguson, DH, and Brody Ferguson playing at first tonight, and he's looking at his first at bat. First pitch he sees, brushes him off the plate. Ball one. Ferguson came in to close the game for the Volunteers. Was able to work himself into a 2-out situation before an error caused 2 runs unearned to come across and put that game out of reach on Friday versus the Texans. The 1-0 pitch outside, but over the plate just enough. Strike one.
Yeah, it's one of those tailing pitches that tailed across the zone at the right time.
1-1 count to Ferguson. Playing first base tonight, usually the DHer. DH. The 1-1 pitch swung on, foul tip back into the glove. 1-2. Ferguson usually bats fourth in the lineup tonight, batting sixth. Maybe just a change of scenery might help him out. 1-2 pitch swung on. That ball's grounded over the short. Shortstop fields it, fires the first, and that's out number 1. The infield's doing a lot of work tonight for the Martin Warriors.
Yeah, Hazen to Vaca, that's a connection that's happened a couple of times now. One to end the previous inning and now to start off this inning. And there's one away here in the top of the second.
Hazen's had 2. Devin Luna, the second baseman's had 1. So the work is happening everywhere except third base. The number 7 man in the lineup, Josh Caber, DH tonight, but typically is the second baseman. He is up to bat. He went 0 for 0, rare 0 for 0 in his game on Friday.
That doesn't show up in the stat book very often.
The 3 walks were very, very crucial to help him get on base. 0 for 0, but he had 3 walks. He was able to steal a base and do a great job on Friday out batting. 1-0 pitch is high, 0-2. Caber's very patient up at the dish. Doesn't swing at anything unnecessary. His batting stance and the way he crouches down a little bit makes it harder for pitchers to get a ball in the strike zone. 2-0 pitch inside, chest high, all 3. 3-0 count. Caber hasn't had a hit in, I believe, a week, just because he's gotten walked so many times, and he's looking at a 3-0 count now, try to get on first base. 3-0 pitch. Looked at strike 1. One of the more patient hitters in this Volunteer lineup. Shaw has a 3-1 count to work with. Gets his pitch. He fires outside. Delayed ball. Strike 2. From our angle, it looked like a ball, but hey, full count. Got a 3-2 count. 1 away in the top of the second. Ball swung on, hit the right field. That ball's going down the foul line, and it's going to carry foul.
That would have been trouble. Hobson was not very close to that one, but it did tail about 10 feet to the right-hand side. I just got word that there is a storm cell to the south of Sam Houston High School, and on the other side of town, the Colts and the Texans are in a weather delay.
Well, hopefully it carries the Grand Prairie and not this
It
direction.
doesn't tail this direction. Agreed.
3-2 count working against Josh Caber. 3-2 pitch. Ball swung on. This one's hit the center field. It's not going to go foul. Center fielder's going to get under it this time and be out number 2. Good job by Caber to have a good at bat to work the count full, make Shaw throw a lot of pitches, but he's not able to get the ball in play.
Yeah, it's a quality at bat for the DH, and he made solid contact. The problem was it went right into the glove of the center fielder Owen for out number 2.
Number 12 up to bat. Catcher, Roberto De Leon, one of the better catchers in the district. I would say probably, in my opinion, second to third behind Jeremiah Taylor. He's one of the most quality catchers. He makes sure nothing gets past him at the backstop, and he's a very good hitter.
You know, man, I've been watching that Austin College commit, and it's going to be neck and neck, honestly, because part of the issue with Jeremiah Taylor is he has had a few pass balls this season, but it's because he's having a hard time catching up with the placement of the pitches that are going in a direction that he's not anticipating. So when that happens, you end up looking like you're not catching stuff because you're moving your glove opposite of where you had it framed, and you just can't catch up to it.
De Leon catches up to that one, looking at a 2-0 count. Grounds up to third. Third baseman fires, but
Foul.
foul off of De Leon's ankle.
It went off of his foot, his ankle area. Good thing he's wearing a brace there, but
Walked
it does move the count to 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, De Leon. He hasn't had as much trouble fielding balls. The pitchers from Bowie have done a good job of keeping things accurate, finding their
Yes.
target, keeping it in the glove.
I agree.
At Arlington, it's been a little bit more struggle. Jeremiah Taylor's done a good job of covering up some of the mistakes at Arlington, but you can't cover everything. But he's doing a very good job. It's neck and neck between catchers between those two that I've seen at least this season. 2-1 pitch looked at, strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of second. Volunteers trail 1-0. Shaw, 2-2 count. He gets the call. He looks, he fires. That ball's in the dirt. Bounces in front of the catcher. Bounces behind the catcher. Full count.
Yeah, and with nobody aboard, you don't really have to do much with that one. It's a fairly deep backstop here at Warrior Field. With the type of speed that both of these teams have, that could be trouble if they're due end up with some runners aboard.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. This ball swung on. That ball's hit the right field, pushed out there. Right fielder's not going to be able to get to it. It's going to drop right in front of him. It's going to be a single. Good case of 2 out hitting by Roberto De Leon.
And that's another one of those full count situations where you get a quality at bat, but this time De Leon's able to put it into right field in front of Hobson, and he finds his way aboard.
The approach by both of these teams pushing the ball. For the right-handed hitters, push the ball out into right field. It's not something that you normally do. You see a lot of them pull to left field, push the ball to right field, making it harder for the right fielder to field them. Bring up the number 9 batter in the Bowie lineup, the second baseman, Andrew Vega. Leon at first, good lead. First pitch swinging by Vega. The ball is fielded by the third baseman. Fires over to first. Vaca catches it, looks it in the glove, and that's going to end the inning. Bowie goes down with just a single in the top of the second, trailing 1-0 to the Martin Warriors here at Martin High School. This is Bowie Volunteer Baseball, presented to you by John Wade Roofing. Zach Arnold Productions will be right back.
Hey, Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana, aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
I'll do whatever it takes to get me a hot dog here at Martin High School. It's been a long day for me. I haven't eaten much. I do a really bad job of eating on days. I take my Adderall in the morning, give me a nice little yogurt smoothie about 12:30, and that lasts me to about 6. By then I'm hungry. Hot dogs smell good here at Martin High School. Martin's coming up the bat here in the bottom of the second with a 1-0 lead over Bowie Volunteers. 6, 7, 8 hitters in the Martin lineup. Leading off, Garen Powers, his first pitch swinging. That ball is fielded by Vega. Backhands it, fires over to first. Overthrows Brody Ferguson, and that's going to be safe. Ferguson might not have been able to get the runner in time. Powers showing his speed, but a good play by Vega for the most part, backhanding it, getting it, firing over the first. Overthrows Ferguson.
You know, even if it was a clean throw, I think he beat out the throw. I'm inclined to give Powers a leadoff hit there.
Powers did have a lot of good speed. He's been playing the left field tonight. I'm with you. That it was a good play, but Powers had too much speed there. The number 7 man in the lineup, Jacoby Hazen, playing shortstop tonight. He's already had 2 6-3 putouts tonight. First pitch, swinging, bunting. Ortega gets it, fires over to first. Makes it just in time. He underhanded it, but too slow. Hazen showed the speed.
That was close. That was a lot closer than it probably should have been.
That's going to be a sack bunt. First at bat for the shortstop from the Warriors. Moves Powers over to second. One away here, the bottom of the second. And up to bat, the right fielder, Parker Hobson. He's seen a few balls hit his direction tonight. First pitch swinging, foul tip back into the glove. Strike one. Hobson wearing his number 23. Gray numbers on these pinstripe white uniforms for the Martin Warriors. Gray lettering, black helmets. 0-1 pitch. Ball's hit foul. It's going to stay fair. And it's going to drift foul. Just that much.
By a foot, if that.
Wheeler had chase on it, but he wasn't going to get to it in time. Drop foul. 0-2 count to Hobson. Take's giving up 3 hits already in an inning and a third.
But he's only got a 1-0 deficit.
1-0 deficit.
That's not bad. His defense is doing what it can.
Wind picks up from right of center field, blowing right to left. 0-2 count to the right fielder Hobson. Taker looks back, checks over at second, gets his call from De Leon, kicks, fires. That ball swung on. Uribe at third, fields it, looks off the runner, fires the first. Out number 2. Good play by Uribe.
That's a good play. You chase the runner back, make the throw in time, try to leave him stranded. 2 away now for the Vols.
2 away, and that's going to bring up the 9-man in the Martin lineup. Slade Owen, center fielder, number 7, gets his first chance at the plate tonight. First pitch swinging. Center fielder's going to fly out to the center fielder. Jackson Turner's calling for it. He's under it, and that's going to end the inning. But not without a single getting on board, moving over to second. Bowie strands that runner at second. We going into the top of the third with the Volunteers trail 1-0. And fans, we want to let you know the third inning is presented to you by our friends at Ika Signs. Located in the heart of Arlington, they offer same-day production on certain rush orders and offer a wide catalog of custom printed materials. Call 817-617-2229 to find out how Ika Signs can help your brand's visibility. Zach on the Productions will be right back.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Rami Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Rami Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
PDA Advocacy Group would like to remind you that autism is a wide spectrum of neurological differences and it's on the rise, now affecting 1 in 36 Americans and more cases found in males. Those with autism have trouble with social interactions, communication, and can engage in repetitive or self-harming behaviors. While the causes of autism are still being researched, we can begin to learn more by visiting nationalautismassociation.org.
Beautiful day, winds blowing in. There's a little storm cell over by Sam Houston High School. Hopefully it stays on the east side of Arlington and the west side of Arlington. Why we are here at the east side of Arlington watching the Martin Warriors with a 1-0 lead over the Bowie Volunteers. Back to the top of the lineup we go for the Volunteers. The 1-2-3 batters, Jackson Turner, Christian Uribe, and Isaiah Henderson. See them here at the top of the third.
Yeah, they'll get their second look at Shaw.
First pitch from Shaw. 0 away, ball 1. Down to the speedy Jackson Turner, number 5. Looking to get on base and do some damage with that speed. Looks at a called strike, strike 1. 1-1 count from Shaw. Shaw's done a very good job pitching for the Warriors this game. He's only surrendered 2 singles. And he's given up a walk that led to a stolen base, but he's been able to keep the runners on base as the 1-1 pitch is fouled out into the bullpen behind right field. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 count. Speedy Jackson Turner, the junior. He's looking for it. He swings. The ball's grounded out to the short. Grounded to short. Short fires over to first. Vaca looks it in. And another 6-3 put out. The third 6-3 put out for the Warriors defense today. Volunteers are just having a hard time getting that ball hit out of the infield. Multiple 6-3 putouts, had a 5-3 putout and a 4-3 putout for anybody keeping score at home. On the way here in the top of the third, as the third baseman Christian Uribe is up to bat for his second at bat. He walked and got a stolen base. First pitch swing and foul out into the parking lot. Hopefully that wasn't my car involved in that
I think yours was
accident.
behind the other direction.
I already have a big dent outside. I need to take care of it. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, strike 2. Beautiful, beautiful spot. Found his location, put it right where it needed to go. 0-2 count to Uribe. Uribe looking at the 0-2. Ball's gonna be in the dirt. 1-2. Shaw has really good command of his breaking pitch early tonight, and he's finding all of his targets. 1-2 count to Uribe. Another breaking pitch. This one's gonna be grounded out to first. Vaca gets over, fires over the Shaw. Oh, he doesn't able to get to it.
Can't leg it out.
He can't leg it out. It looks like he missed the bag. It's gonna be it's gonna be a runner on. Vaca did a great job fielding that ball over at first. Pitcher Shaw runs to it, just not able to get his foot on the bag in time. So I believe that goes as an infield single.
Yeah, I think you just outrun him there.
Number 3 man in the lineup, Isaiah Henderson, back out there tonight. Wasn't there Friday in the loss versus Sam Houston, so hopefully his presence in the lineup will boost these Volunteers to get them going again. First pitch to Henderson. Look on the way, ball 1. Henderson's first at bat struck out. He's one of the big hitters in this Volunteer lineup. You need him to get things going. As he looks at a 1-0, that's going to be in the dirt. Good job by the catcher to get up, keep that ball from getting anywhere. 2-0. Bay behind the plate doing a great job of keeping these balls from getting too far away from him. As you hear the Warrior fans chanting overrated Isaiah Henderson. 2-0 pitch. That's a hard time. Eats up the second base. A shortstop's able to recover, and that's how the inning is going to end. Not without a base hit though. The inning. Oh, sorry, that was 2 away. The runner at second, Uribe, is out. Shortstop had a hard time picking up that ball. It ate him up, but he wasn't able to get 2 outs. So we have Henderson at first. Uribe is out on the fielder's choice. And now the pitcher, Roman Ortega, is going to come up to bat for his second at bat of the game. He singled with 2 outs in the top of the first. The infield shifts over a little bit. Second baseman standing right next to the bag. First pitch to Ortega, looked at, strike 1. Oh, great command early of the breaking pitch. It's going to be a key as the game goes on. If any of these Bowie hitters can get an eye on it. The runner at first takes off to second. He's going to be safe in at second as the shortstop's not able to field the ground ball. He's 6 in my opinion, but if anything, Ortega had enough room to get there in time.
Yeah, it would have been a tough play at second, but it also would have been a hard scoop if the shortstop Hazen had tried to make the throw over to first, but I think he would have been able to. So yeah, however you slice it, that is an E6.
If you give it an E6, that's going to be the first error by the scoreboard operator. Gave it an E. So it's the first error by the Warriors. 2 on. Top of the third. And now the right fielder, Jason Wheeler, is up to bat. Runner in scoring position. See if Wheeler can get this ball out into the outfield and get some work out for the Volunteers to score. First pitch looked at by number 15, called strike. Henderson at second. Pinch runner for Ortega is Kitchens. Kitchens cooking at first. 0-1 count to Wheeler. Wheeler breaking ball. Inside, ball one. Good command, though, by Shaw. Doing a great job with that breaking pitch. Making these volunteer hitters guess. They're not seeing a lot of fastballs. So a good time breaking pitch will make anybody struggle. 1-1 count. 2 away here in the top of the third. 1-1 pitch in the dirt.
Balk.
The balk is called on Shaw, so the runner is going to step up.
No pitch. Still 1-1.
Still 1-1. Henderson's now at third. Kitchens is now at second. Wheeler has a chance to drive these two runners in to give the Volunteers an early 2-1 lead if he can get a ball into the gap. The Volunteers have had a hard time getting the ball into the air. 1-1 count to the right fielder. The ball, check swing. Doesn't matter, call strike either way, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runners in scoring position for the right fielder, Jason Wheeler. So Volunteers trail 1-0 to the Warriors. Checks over at third. That ball swung on, hit foul.
Probably should have laid off of that one. Would have been better to let that one go inside instead of jamming it off the wrists. Would have been a 2-ball, 2-strike count. He hadn't offered that one.
Look out for Shaw's breaking pitch. He's done a very good job of placing it, locating it where he needs to go to keep the Volunteers hitters guessing up there at the plate. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Jason Wheeler. Anything over an infielder's head out to the outfield is going to be 2 runs. The 2-1 pitch is looked at outside, ball 3, made it over the plate. And Bowie's going to strand 2 runners in scoring position. Again, as the Warriors are going to come up to bat in the bottom of the third. Bowie trails 1-0 to Martin here at Martin High School. This is Zach Arnold Productions bringing you Bowie Volunteer Baseball.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Ika Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Ika can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ikasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Ika Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions.
Jot, we had a couple of mild changes that were made to the Martin starting lineup and defensive alignment that we weren't made aware of. Very, very last-minute change, and it looks like there may be more changes on the way as the umpires are clearing the field, and it looks like they are telling players to clear the dugout. We were talking earlier about not wanting the weather to be a factor, but it turns out it will be just the same. We're headed to the bottom of the third, and it looks like we will be in a weather delay for at least the next half hour. Hopefully no lightning strikes in between all of that. Confirmation of a weather delay, and while we weather this delay, we want to remind fans that they can weather any storm underneath a John Wade roof, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982. They are proud partners of ZAP since 2020, and they want to be your roofing partner the next time you have a roofing need. Weather the storm with John Wade Roofing. We will take a short break and be in a weather delay for a few minutes and come back with a little bit of conversation about this ball game, the district, the city of Arlington. Zach Arnold Productions will take questions from you all. Stick around. We've got a half an hour to kill. This is Bowie Baseball on ZAP. We'll be back in a few minutes. Weather delay here at Martin High. The lightning struck at approximately 6:45 p.m., which means we will be in a weather delay until about 7:15, guaranteed. Who knows how much longer if we get another lightning strike. Both teams kind of feeling each other out as a fielder's choice RBI. The only thing that has broken a scoreless deadlock happened in the bottom of the first inning, but it's been a pretty defensive-minded battle so far, wouldn't you say, Jot?
It's been a very defensive-minded battle between both teams, but for Bowie, you are now at 10 innings scoreless, leading back to last Friday, and that's one of the things as a team that wants to qualify for the playoffs. With a 3-1 record, you cannot continue to have scoreless innings, striking out, looking at pitches that are they're clearly looking at breaking balls that they cannot time and not hit. Much like Friday versus Ramos, the breaking pitches seems to be Bowie's kryptonite so far early, and anything that they can hit that is grounding it into the dirt. Multiple 5-3 putouts, multiple 6-3 putouts. It's been a hard struggle. It's been a hard struggle for this volunteer offense to get anything hit out into the outfield. We've seen a couple balls hit into the outfield. They're opposite. They were pushed the opposite side of the field. Good piece of hitting by De Leon. Had one out to right field. Uribe had one as well. But outside of that, it's been struggle. Strikeout for Isaiah Henderson. Strikeout for Wheeler, and it's continuing the way Friday ended.
Yeah, and we were talking during the pregame show that we were hoping the return of Isaiah Henderson would provide a little bit of a spark to the lineup, but so far Henderson's 0 for 2 on the
He's over two. He reached on that fielder's choice in the top of the third inning. When they got
0 for 1 then.
0 for he's 0 for 1 with when he reached on the fielder's choice, which the runner was out at second. Um, but it hasn't really added much to the spark of his lineup. The lineup count, at least from the last few games, needs to be flipped around a little bit. Brody Ferguson has dropped down now to batting six. Last game he was batting four. He's 0 for 1. Caber, who is DH tonight, he worked his way into a 3-0 count. End up fouling out 2 second, but he worked his way. He's one of the only batters to work Shaw deep enough into a count. Much like Friday, where Ramos had multiple 3-0 counts and then will work his way back, breaking ball, then get you guessing with the fastball, which would foul off on the 2-3-2 pitch. You knew the breaking pitch was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Ramos had the hitters for Bowie looking at it. Shaw's doing the same thing. He's got great placement early on those breaking pitches.
Yeah, and like we were saying, with it being so defensive minded, I mean, you take a look at the Bowie defense. Aside from the leadoff double, there hasn't been a whole lot of uh, productivity since then. I mean, Vaca did get the RBI, but it was on a 4-3 ground out. Flores with a ground out. Openshaw with a fly out. A single to the infield, a sacrifice, a ground out, and then another fly out. So there really hasn't been a whole lot the other direction for Martin's offense either. And this is our first time seeing Martin in person, so we don't really know a whole lot about the depth of the club or their lineup. We only heard a few things in passing when we first showed up at the ballpark. There were some seniors that have elected not to participate this season. And so it's a next man up mentality for the Warriors, and they're pulling up some young men from JV and giving them some valuable varsity experience that will help them not only this year but in the seasons to come. So it's interesting to see how that chemistry plays a factor as well, because Bowie has a lot of chemistry, as we mentioned, with the upperclassmen that are leading this team. You have to wonder who are the next men up, who are the next people in the Martin lineup that are going to try to provide a spark on their end of the batting order as well.
And sometimes when you have when you have a team that doesn't have many seniors in any sports, football, basketball, baseball, when you don't have many seniors in your junior-led team or a sophomore-led team, it gives you younger guys a chance to play at a higher level for next season to build off of the success that they work on. So at the rate that the way they're going now, they're 2-2 early in district play. If they're leading Bowie now, and as the season goes on, those guys that are sophomores and juniors will build confidence going into late district play when they played teams like South Grand Prairie, played teams like Arlington, because they had the playing time, the experience, and they've beaten tough teams or have just hung in there with tough teams. Means that next season when it comes around, those guys will be the ones you lead towards. Unlike Bowie has 8 seniors and they have 6 juniors, so it's a very upperclassman led team. When those upperclassmen aren't hitting, you have to find somebody down that dugout that can do something for you to get a spark for that team. Once the struggle comes for everybody, once the struggle hits one person, you start carrying on
Well,
and
and
on.
and that's something that we have noticed not just with this ball game or with Bowie, but it's been a plague for a lot of teams in District 8 6A. I noticed it when Arlington was playing at South Grand Prairie last week. The Warriors had an electric offensive spark in game one at Arlington, and then when game two came around, they were struggling to get hits put together back to back to back. And this is something we've noticed with Arlington's offense. When they score, they tend to score in bunches. They run ruled Haltom by a score of 10-0, and then in the game that you called against the Buffaloes, they struggled to put runs across, losing by a score of 6-3. So the offense in this entire district seems to be rather feast or famine. You either score a lot in bunches or you have streaks where you're struggling to put the ball where the defense is not.
And a lot of the coaches in the district, at least that I've seen, they have a tendency of when they get base runners on after having a big explosive game, they are all aggressive on the base paths, and that aggressiveness needs to carry over even when you're not getting hits. Working small ball, if you can't get hits and get a 10-0 game like your Arlington did versus Altum, the next game small ball could be the way to get you going. But a lot of those teams, it hasn't been the bats that's what's cost them. It's been the fielding. The Arlington game versus Halton, for example, there were 6 errors that game. It was also very windy with the dust storm coming through, but there were 6 errors. Last Friday versus Sam Houston for Bowie, there was 4 errors. So that confidence you build in the game, you have to continue those fundamentals to keep that confidence going, and that all starts with your senior leaders. The senior leaders, they know when you have a great game, no errors. You have to be on top of the juniors and sophomores to make sure that their head is in the right spot before you go play to prevent a 4 error game or a 6 error game,
Hmm.
because it makes your pitchers work harder, and it breaks your pitcher's confidence down.
Yeah, you have to do what you can in order to support your pitcher and give him the defensive assistance that he needs to feel like he can succeed. The other issue is it's kind of a domino effect, and I think you can attest to this from the game that you called on Friday. If there's one mistake that happens, it breeds another. And then if that one happens, it breeds a third. And you have to have that type of chemistry and that type of leadership that can take a look at a situation and say, hey, we're not going to let this beat us. We're not going to let this get us down. And unfortunately, that did happen to Bowie back on Friday. But we have learned that between that game and this one today, they got a visit from a very special person that they're going to get to honor on Friday as well, as long as the weather decides to hold up for us. There is rain in the forecast on Friday, but as long as we're able to play ball, one of the most famous, if not the most famous, Bowie baseball alumni is going to be honored at the ballpark on Friday.
It's gonna be for those that don't know who Zach's talking about. We called him the Ranger Killer when I was in high school. For when he played for the Blue Jays, and when he played for the Angels, he's one of the most dominant hitters to play against the Rangers. Every time he came to town, he played. He knew he was coming home. He knew that he had a chance to show out. That man is Vernon Wells. Vernon Wells will be at Vernon Wells night at Bowie High School. Zach and Tim Costello will both be there to cover that game, while me and Pops are covering Arlington High School at Arlington High as they take on Sam Houston. The Bowie hitters, they had something to look forward to. Listen to the stories from what Coach was telling Zach earlier. He spoke for about an hour, and he had a chance to fill them in on what it was like, what high school was like, what college was like, what playing in the major leagues was like, and that's something that can motivate these hitters, knowing that this guy he went to school here and he did it, that I can do it too. Just kind of follow those certain paths that he does, and continue to work hard every day.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having Tim on the call for that. He'll be interviewing Vernon during that ball game. We're looking at securing an interview to speak to the Bowie legend and hear it from him about some of his great experiences and some of his moments at Bowie and his moments as an MLB player. So that'll be a lot of fun as long as the weather permits. Right now, we're kind of holding steady, at least for the next 15 to 20 minutes, depending on if the lightning resets. The weather delay was started at 6:45 p.m. The rules state that you have to wait a minimum of a half an hour. As long as no other lightning strikes within that 30-minute period, then you are allowed to resume. Right now, there is nobody in the dugouts. There is nobody in the stands. I do not have the sense that we will be back to playing baseball in 15 minutes, but we will have to wait and see. Bowie baseball against Martin, currently in a weather delay. We'll leave it on the camera here and mute ourselves for the time being and let you know whenever the ball game is set to resume. Thank you all for your patience and for tuning in to High School Baseball on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be back in a few minutes. Test, test, test. That's right, fans. You are hearing my voice, but only for a moment, to let you know that the weather conditions have not improved here in southwest Arlington, nor have they improved across town. I just got word from Pops that the Arlington versus Sam Houston game at Sam Houston High will not be going on as planned, nor will this game. We are still working out the details of how this game is set to reach its conclusion. A district game cannot be concluded at this particular interval in the bottom of the third inning, with the score being what it is. So they will be trying to reschedule and resume this game at some point in time. Those details are still being sorted out by coaches Johnson and Waller, respectively, for Bowie and Martin. Our suspicion is that we will try to play again tomorrow here, with the weather permitting, and we'll resume at the particular place that we are currently at here in the bottom of the third, about to get underway with a 1-0 score on the scoreboard. This is not a guarantee. This is not a promise. It's not anything that we have any certainty, nor do we have any control over. So we appreciate your patience as we navigate all of this uncertainty together. The Bowie players are headed to the third base dugout to clear out their gear and head back to Bowie High. And we're going to follow suit, cleaning up our gear and heading back to the parking lot. Special thanks to our friends at John Wade Roofing for being our title partners this season, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982. Please follow us on social media at the username Zach the Voice, Z-A-C-H the Voice. As soon as we have updates to provide, we will provide them there on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the like. And hopefully, we'll be able to be back on the call for the conclusion of this big district ball game. But that is going to do it for us on this Tuesday, the 25th, here at Martin High. For Judd Holly, I'm Zach Arnold, thanking you for tuning in to the first 3 innings of this ball game anyways. And we hope to see you back real soon for the conclusion of Bowie at Martin.